What's up?
What's up, Mason?
How's it going?
It's going good, man. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's great to be back. It feels like it's been forever, even though most of our listeners won't even notice, but we took a little bit of break just to kind of get things rolling.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
caught
It's
up?
been like 3 weeks at least since we've recorded a podcast. We double stacked a couple of our weeks where we kind of collected a couple podcasts because we both work in the food service industry, and December is like the craziest time of the year. So we kind of wanted to make sure that the content kept coming, kept rolling, but we needed some time to actually work, and when we're not working, rest instead of doing all sorts of crazy stuff with Assemblage. So I'm a couple weeks late on that blog post that I promised for the last podcast that will be coming out probably before this podcast comes out, which will feature Mason's eggnog recipe. It'll also feature what our loved ones are drinking over the holidays, which is really exciting. So Mason asked his family to give us some quotes on what they're drinking. My family gave me some quotes on what they're drinking. So it's kind of a fun little family holiday thing. Because I don't know about you, but I'm not going to get to see my family over the holidays. I'll be with my fiance's family, which is great. I'm sure you'll be with your wife's family, which is still family, which is great. But we both live a long way away from our, biological family. So, that'll be sad, but it's kind of nice to have heard from all family members and kind of heard what they're drinking. I'm sure we'll do some sort of like virtual happy hour with them on Christmas Day or something. Who knows?
Yeah, I think my parents are actually taking a little cruise to enjoy their
nice
Christmas together in the nice warm sun. So I think hopefully they'll have a little connection.
Hell yeah. That sounds awesome. I've never gone on a cruise, but I would love to, because it just seems like super relaxing. A lot of them, like, you get that unlimited drink package. It's unlimited food,
Totally
which just sounds like that
Gorge.
sounds ideal. And it's not been too cold down here. People are freaking out because it's like 40 degrees. But still, like, that nice hot sun around this time of year, that would be nice. But not anytime soon for me.
Me neither. Maybe we'll get out of this cold soon enough if the weather gets better. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's the South. It could happen at any moment.
That's true. Yeah, it was like 60 the other day, and then it was like 40 the next day. So it's kind of all over the place. But at least it's not snowing, which is ideal. Have you had any snow up there yet?
Not yet. I'd love to have a little snow, just because like it's better than just rain and just flush, like just grossness. But whatever. Plus, my dog that is a husky, she'd love to have that kind of weather.
Yeah, maybe it'll snow at Christmas.
Yeah, would be nice.
Would be nice to have a white Christmas, and then the snow can go away. Once snow is perfectly fine. Especially after those long day. Those New York winters on the Hudson River. Man, it's just like you're just like cold all the time. And then you go inside and the buildings are so hot. Then you're like wearing all these coats, and then you're like, hot.
Taking off like 15 layers. And then you're like, okay, now I have to go back outside.
Yep. I don't miss that shit at all.
15 layers of glitter. Okay.
Yes. All right, let's get into this shit. So this is going to be our last podcast of 2022. And I kind of wanted to, I know it feels like we just started. But there's a lot more to come in 2023. So this podcast will kind of be an end of 2022 review. We got a couple questions from some of our listeners. So we'll do a little bit of Q&A. And then we'll kind of wrap this thing up with what our goals for 2023 are with the podcast. Personal goals, beverage goals, things like that. So we're going to just kind of jump into 2022 and review this year, which has gone by really fast. I've already been living down in Georgia for a year now, which is like crazy. Or it'll be a year, a week from Monday. Well, so the basically the Monday after this podcast comes out, will be 1 year down in Georgia, which is crazy.
Wow.
It doesn't feel like I've been down here that long.
Can't believe it.
And before we jump in, Mason, what kind of coffee are you drinking today?
Just standard black coffee, a little bit of half and half.
Nice. I went back with the maple, half and half maple that I think we did on, I think it was the last podcast we recorded. I was drinking the same thing. So it might be my new pod coffee.
Pod coffee.
For those of you, I understand it's a beverage podcast. You wish we were drinking. It's 9:40. We both have to work later today. So, just the coffee today. We both been grinding. So, coffee has just been like on an unlimited tab this month. I don't know about you, but it's just been like, I think I've been drinking more coffee than water, which is probably really bad for me, but
definitely. I think I have a double shot latte almost every day at work, if not 2 or 3 of them.
I feel that.
It happens.
I feel that. I'm an iced Americano throughout the day kind of guy. So let's review 2022. So this is our 9th podcast of 2022. We kind of had like a sporadic start of the year. We were kind of only posting a podcast like once every 2 or 3 months, with really long gaps. I think it was just kind of a busy time and kind of settling into a new role, a new job down here, moving, all that kind of stuff. And I think that there just wasn't, like, just being transparent and being real, there just wasn't like a push to be making content and kind of being on top of things and creating, which is what I love to do. I think it just kind of got lost in the busyness of life. This is our 5th podcast together, as co-host Mason, which is pretty cool. But it's our 6th podcast together, because episode 23 was a podcast with Mason and I. Mason was a guest on the podcast. It was before the co-host role came about. So technically our 6th podcast together, but our 5th podcast as co-chair on this podcast, which has been a really fun time.
Amazing.
I think that it's kind of, doing podcasts before, it was always like, I wanted to have a guest on the podcast. I did do some solo podcasts, but it was more, it was weird a little bit because I was basically having a conversation with myself, and it was a lot of planning because it was like there was no one there. I was talking into the microphone, and it was just like those solo podcasts were like brutal. I was listening back to one, and I'm like, God, it's just like so fucking boring. And adding you to the podcast, obviously we have a lot of history together. We've been friends for a long ass time. And I think not long enough, but it's still been like almost 9 years, or 8 years, 9 years.
2014 we joined CIA, and that's basically when we became friends. So
8.5 years at this point.
Right.
Which is crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, it's definitely been a fun journey adding you to Assemblage. You joined the company in October. We rebranded Assemblage, which was a really big project. We changed our logo, changed our business name. We used to be Assemblage Personal Beverage Consulting. And now we're Assemblage Beverage Company. Which sometimes I still catch myself saying like Assemblage Personal Beverage Consulting. And I'm like, nope, that's not what we're called anymore. We got a new website, which is really, really cool. Designing websites is a very time consuming thing. So go check that out. And, we got new merch, new logo, like I said. Mason's wearing the beanie, which is, really nice. They're embroidered beanies. So you got the Assemblage t-shirt on. The beanies are super nice. They're super warm.
Very nice.
They're not just printed, they're embroidered, which is
feels nice.
Like, to me, that's like how a beanie should be. They last a lot longer.
Pops.
Yeah. And I kind of wanted to touch on the Hawaiian shirts again. I know we touched on it like maybe our second podcast as co-hosts, but when we were rebranding, I really wanted Assemblage to be more true to who I am, how we are as friends, and that's more fun. Assemblage Personal Beverage Consulting was very informational and it was fun, but it was more serious and more, we're going to learn about winemaking today, or we're going to learn about this or that. And it was a little bit less fun. It was more like by the book and not scripted, but it was very like organized, I guess. When we rebranded, wanted to start doing video podcasts because I think that, certain people like to watch podcasts and watch video instead of just listening. It's a little bit more.
Let's get looking at those beautiful faces.
Yeah, that's right. And you can see our lovely faces, see our Hawaiian shirts. But the Hawaiian shirts are kind of an homage to our time at CIA. We would wear Hawaiian shirts every single Friday. During associates when we were wearing
Didn't
chef
miss a
whites.
single one.
No, we did not. I think there was a couple that we were like late to the party. We'd be wearing like normal shirts and be like, oh shit, it's Friday. And like, we'd both throw on a Hawaiian shirt and like, just go out and be seen. Just like, so cause people like, were like, oh yeah, it's Hawaiian shirt Friday. And then we got other people to join the bandwagon too. And like, which was awesome. So yeah, I kind of wanted to throw it back to college because college was a lot of fun. So these Assemblage Hawaiian shirts with the grape logo, both our logo and the grapes were designed by my cousin, Morgan Cannon. So shout out Morgan.
Thank you.
It looks great. She's a really awesome tattoo artist based in West Lafayette, Indiana. So if you're in West Lafayette and you're looking to get a tattoo, hit her up because she is really great at what she does. So yeah, I think that we've come a long way in 2022 from the beginning to now. And I think that we still have a lot of room for growth, and we'll kind of get into what our goals for 2023 are. And I really wanted to thank you, Mason, because, you joined the team. You've been putting in a lot of work. You've been repping the brand, doing these podcasts, and kind of just being like that extra set of eyes, ears, and ideas, which is really important. When we're creating ideas for podcasts, we've got like this insane Google Drive of all our podcast ideas in one document. And they're all we should
probably split up.
We should probably split it up. Yeah. Cause it's like, I don't even know how many pages it is. It's 9 pages right now. And it's podcasts that we've already done. It's podcasts that are still like in the works and development. And like, whenever we do a podcast, like my OCD comes out and like, I like numbers and bullets and lists and things. And we highlight in different colors depending on what podcast. So it's like, okay, today today is number 2 on the list. And it's purple. And then for me, it's like, okay, once it's been highlighted, like that podcast is like, we've done it. So, we should probably split this up, but maybe one day, maybe in January when we're not like super crazy, we'll have some more time to like organize our lives.
But I definitely want to thank you for thanking me. I'm excited to be a part of the team and kind of push us to the new level. I definitely want to add more and do more for us because like this is just absolutely amazing for me as a co-host, and just I love what we are doing here. It's just awesome, and you are an amazing friend, and this is what a thankful year to have for 2022, and excited, really, really excited for 2023.
Yeah, me too. I think we've got a lot of really cool podcast ideas. I think a lot of them will make more sense to do once like spring comes around. because we both golf. So like there's some golf podcasts that we want to do. I'd love to get some like, you know, if we'd get like a professional golfer, or like I've got some like ideas on who we could have in that podcast, because I think it'd be really cool. But you know,
our best friend Tiger Woods, you know.
Yeah, and Rory McIlroy, we'll get him in the podcast too. It'll be a
great.
quick call. No big deal. And kind of like the last thing that I want to touch on, you know, in 2022, which was an idea that I had in 2021, was I wanted to offer wine scholarships. You know, I didn't really know how to go about it, how to do it, because there's a lot of logistics when you're like kind of gifting someone money. So I partnered with Som Foundation, which is a fantastic organization. And I kind of reached out to them because I know that they offer scholarships. I've applied to a lot of their scholarships and they do some really great things. And, you know, I've been fortunate enough, I know you and me both, we've both been fortunate enough to get a lot of scholarships at CIA. And, you know, we worked really hard for them, but we were very fortunate. And if it weren't for scholarships, I wouldn't be where I am. I can't speak to you, Mason, but I wouldn't be where I am. So I'm really grateful. So for me to be able to raise some money, thanks to, you know, our supporters and our listeners and, you know, personal stuff, able to raise money for 2 scholarships in 2022. So basically the scholarship was up on Som Foundation's website. People applied. I think we had 140 people apply for 2 scholarships, which is like, when I heard that we had that many people apply, like I was ecstatic. Like I was like, oh my God, that's cool. I wish I could offer 140 scholarships.
Maybe 1 year.
Well, yeah, maybe 1 year, but that's a lot. So scholarships were for essentially the winner could take up to level 1 CMS, quartermaster sommelier, so intro som, or up to level 2 with WSET, kind of depending on whatever road that they wanted to go. Basically they're the same price. They're like $700. So had about 140 people applied. And 2 women actually won, one from St. Louis and one from Philadelphia, which was really cool. I think they're both doing quartermaster sommeliers level 1, which is awesome. I know we both have CMS level 1. It's been a long time since I've done it. And you did it a little bit after me, I think.
Yeah.
I think
it expired by now. Yeah.
Oh yeah, mine's expired too. But yeah, so they're going to be doing that. I haven't heard back. You know, they reached out and thanked me for them and thanked Assemblage for the scholarships. But I might reach out to them and see if they've taken their tests yet. Probably not, because the winner was announced in like October. And with how they schedule exams, I'm sure they'll take them in 2023. So I just
January on the early side. Yeah.
I kind of wanted to just read a little bit. I'm not going to name any names because there's, you know, a lot of privacy with it. But, you know, I really liked, you know, they sent thank you notes when they won the scholarship. So if it's cool with you, Mason, I just kind of want to like read one line from each of them. So from the first one, your generosity has made the first steps of my wine education more accessible. And for that, I'm sincerely grateful. You know, that's huge. Cause these exams are really expensive. And a lot of times people feel the need that they need to do it in order to be accepted in the wine industry. So being able to help out, even if it's just, you know, one scholarship, it's still like, it makes me feel amazing. And, you know, I hope that we can offer at least 2 more, which we'll talk about. I keep jumping into the goals already. But, you know, it really makes me feel good. And then the second one, because of this scholarship, I'm now able to receive a wine education that I previously did not have the financial means to pursue. My goal is to open the world of wine to other persons of color, like myself, who may be intimidated by the culture and history of wine and winemaking. I'm very much looking forward to taking that first step through the introductory sommelier course and exam. So like that just makes me, it warms my very cold heart. I'm just kidding. No, but it makes me feel really good. And I wanted to thank everyone who donated to me to be able to offer this, and help me raise funds. So definitely want to do a couple more in 2023. I keep thinking like 2024 for some reason, but it's 2023. I'm already skipping a whole year.
I don't blame you. 2020, you want to skip that one. Now we're into 2021. Then it was like, what, 2022? All right. Well, I guess we're going into 2023. Here we go.
I know. It's been crazy. Anything else you want to review or wrap up from 2022 with our last podcast of the year?
I think the only thing to touch on is we're glad to see you go, and we're excited to have a new one.
Mm-hmm. Amen. That's facts. All right, you want to jump into some Q&A, Mace?
Yeah, let's do Q&A before we move on to the goals of 2023.
Perfect. All right, so we
on the last podcast.
Yeah, so on the last podcast / on Instagram, basically put up a question, ask us a question. Instagram, it has that lovely feature. Unfortunately, I thought we'd get a few more questions. We got 2, but that's okay. Both of them were good questions. And one's my mom, of course. Shout out, Mom. Okay. I know she's listening to this.
We love you.
She's the best. She's like such a super fan too. She'll awesome. She'll watch us on YouTube, and then she'll also go in and listen on like Spotify, or I don't know what she listens on, like Apple Podcasts or Spotify. But she's like, oh my God, I'm so proud. You guys are the best. So, Mom, I know you're listening. Shout out to you. We love you. And thanks for all your support and always sharing our stuff. So we'll get to her question second. So this question is from Steph.Climber. What is the best non-alcoholic cocktail to order that won't annoy beverage staff at a restaurant? Mason, you want to? Fantastic question. You want to jump in and give your insight?
Yeah. So in the South, most places actually, if you're a restaurant, you almost have to have sweet tea. So that's just a simple always ask. Like I think if you're a restaurant and you don't have sweet tea, you're going down the drain pretty quickly. Side note. But most places will have sweet tea, unsweet tea, and lemonade is a big one as well. So easy peasy, any of those just by themselves. Doing an Arnold Palmer iced tea and lemonade always can be something easy. And if you want something a little bit more soigné, you could say, or a little bit more elegant, definitely just doing like a lemonade with a seltzer top and then a cucumber peel or cucumber slice to give it a little bit more freshness. All really easy things for your bartender, anybody to make for a non-alcoholic or a mocktail or something like that. There are so many different things you can ask for that you could just look at the back bar specifically and kind of see what are the non-alcoholic items, kind of look at what kind of syrups they may have and things like that. But I don't know, what other ideas did you have?
Yeah, so for me, I think that restaurants and bars have gotten better over the last couple of years about having like a non-alcoholic cocktail menu, which I think is huge because, for some people who, maybe they're doing dry January, maybe they're having some, health things that they are choosing not to drink, or maybe they're just like not in the mood to have an alcoholic beverage. It's nice to have like, because if you're drinking, you know what you like. I'm going to have a Jack and Coke, or I'm going to have a glass of champagne, or I'm going to have this or that, Boulevardier and Negroni. Non-alcoholic's a little bit tougher because you might not know what the bartender has as far as syrups or fruit purees, or maybe they make a lot of like non-alcoholic spirits now, like pre-made spirits that are non-alcoholic. Maybe they're not advertising it. So it can be a little bit intimidating, going to a restaurant or a bar and like, do I just get a Coke or do I just get a lemonade or a sweet tea? And you know, some like that's great. But I think, like I said, restaurants have been getting better about having that non-alcoholic cocktail menu. And I would love to see more restaurants doing that and kind of promoting that. From a restaurant side, selling a non-alcoholic cocktail is very profitable. It makes the guests feel really special because they feel like they're being thought of and they're not like getting kind of outcast because they don't drink alcohol. And, you know, it's a way for bartenders to still be creative and create really fun drinks that just don't have spirits in them. So I'd love to see more of that. I think that it's also a challenge. I think it's more challenging to make a non-alcoholic cocktail than it is to make a cocktail with alcohol in it. Because a lot of people... A balanced cocktail. Yes. Thank you. Because alcohol is hot and spicy and it has like heat and weight to it. Whereas, you know, when you don't have that, you know, now, like I said, they're making non-alcoholic spirits and things like that. So that kind of replaces the spirits. But for a long time, it was just like, okay, like it's going to be juice and lemonade and more juice, tonic water, soda water. And it becomes very sweet and very like just not balanced. And it kind of just seems like they're just drinking like fruit punch. Whereas, you know, it takes skill to make a very balanced non-alcoholic cocktail. So if you are running a bar program or you're a bartender, challenge yourself to figure out a non-alcoholic cocktail, especially in January, because people are not drinking as much as they normally do. I mean, I won't be participating in dry January. It's actually against my beliefs, but you know, there's a lot of people who do, and I respect the hell out of it. You're better people than I am. I don't know about you, Mason, but I definitely can't do dry January.
Nah, it's just wet January. It's still rainy and cold. You need a little warmer.
Yeah, maybe, well, January 1st, I'm off. So I was going to say maybe I'll be sober the first day of January, but it'll be a day off. So I'll probably have some wine or something. But yeah, if the restaurant, however, doesn't have a non-alcoholic cocktail menu, the safest thing, and I think the easiest thing that you could ask for is a non-alcoholic mule. So essentially like kind of like a Moscow mule, but without alcohol or without vodka. So it could just be ginger beer, which has that like spiciness and kind of that like depth, a little bit of lime juice, and then just ask the bartender, what kind of syrups or purees do you have? You know, there's some really great fruit purees. So maybe you could do like a mango mule or a peach mule. Maybe it's just a simple mule like ginger beer and lime juice. And it kind of is a nice, fun drink served in a copper mug. So it makes you feel like you're included in your drinking and, you know, but you're not. So I think that that's a really good one that's a little bit less intimidating and being like, oh, can I have which cocktail on your menu can you make non-alcoholic? You know, I think that that's kind of a loaded question, and the cocktail will not be the same as if it were alcoholic, because a lot of people don't have like backups to, you know, like we have a cocktail at our menu right now, and like the base of it is apple infused Tito's vodka. And people all the time are like, can you make this non-alcoholic? And it's like, unfortunately we can, but it's not going to be really close because we don't have like a apple cinnamon infused non-alcoholic distillate. You know, we can do it with like the apple juice and apple cider and, you know, our syrups and things like that, but it's not going to be the same. So I think that that's a really good one for, you know, if there isn't that non-alcoholic cocktail menu.
Yeah. Also, another thing to look at is when you're looking over the cocktail menu itself, there's always a list of what is in each cocktail, and you can see at the end of what component is not alcoholic, and that can give you kind of a base idea if you're, you know, afraid to ask the bartender, afraid to ask the server, can you make something with this? At least you can see it there and then ask the question.
Right. But I think the best thing is for more restaurants and bars to have a non-alcoholic cocktail menu. That way it kind of, it's something that's already been well thought out, and it's probably going to be in balance, and it's actually something that the bartender is proud to make. And it makes it easier for the guest that's ordering it, because they don't feel like they're inconveniencing it. And the most important thing is you should never feel like an inconvenience ordering a non-alcoholic cocktail.
Because it's so easy for any person as a restaurant person. Like, it's easy to make a non-alcoholic cocktail. You can take 2 seconds to really help make a guest have a great experience, to enjoy themselves.
And again, as the bartender, as a restaurant person, I'd rather sell a non-alcoholic drink than like a Coke, because you can charge a little bit more. And, the guest obviously you're not charging as much as like an alcoholic cocktail, but, you can still charge, a fair price and make a little bit more money. Average check goes up, and everyone's happy because the guest has something fun and exciting to drink. Bartenders can be tipped a little bit extra maybe, and the restaurant's making money. So I think that that's really important.
$10 is better than 20% on $5.
That's right. Exactly. All right. So next question from my lovely mother, Trina Shu. What is a good large batch cocktail to serve at a holiday party? Mason?
Love that question. As we discussed in the previous podcast, doing the eggnog batch recipe style, that would be a great way to go. As most cocktails can be batched out, you could really just kind of prepare anything that you really want. You know me, big Boulevardier kind of guy. Boulevardier, I batched it out for my wedding and gave it out as a gift to every person that was part of my wedding party. And that was really, really easy to do. I'd say even like you discussed, your mulled wine or something like a hot sangria, really fun, easy to do kind of mix. What about you?
Yeah, I think, like you said, the eggnog, the mulled wine is great because you can just bring the crock pot over, and it stays constant temperature, perfect temperature for a long time. It's easy because you can just get like a ladle it in. I've seen crock pots that now have like a spigot on them, so that could be nice, really easy. Really, I mean, like you said, you could batch any cocktail, and just because it's a holiday season, like maybe you like a certain cocktail, like any cocktail can be a seasonal, whatever season cocktail. If you like drinking old fashions in the summer, drink an old fashioned in the summer. If you like drinking an Aperol spritz, in the winter or whatever, vodka lemonade in the winter, cool. Like that's for you. So I think when you're the most important thing when you're doing when you're batching cocktails is you can batch any all the liquors, all the kind of syrups, things like that aren't going to go bad well in advance. Do that ahead of time, because when you're going to a holiday party or you're hosting a holiday party, you've got a lot of cooking to do. You probably got to clean your house. You got to make sure everything's set up. So batch
all that.
Yep. A lot of stuff to do. So batch your alcohols, batch your syrups ahead of time. Day of the party or just before you're about to serve, add in any fresh ingredients. So juices, if you're going to be adding some sort of like sparkling component, whether it's Prosecco or sparkling wine or soda water or tonic, add that in right before you're serving it. Or even like with sparkling things, maybe keep that on the side so people can kind of add fresh to their cocktail. But the citrus, definitely you want to do the day of, because what'll happen is the citrus will oxidize and it'll go bad. Whereas the spirits, the syrup, you've got, the spirits aren't going bad. Syrups have a long shelf life to them. Whereas juice really is like a couple days before it starts to oxidize. So definitely, add your citrus fresh, day of. And then, like you said, the mulled wine. And, I think that especially for holiday parties and batch cocktails, I like simple stuff. I think people appreciate it. Like I've seen some where like people make these like crazy holiday cocktails, which are cool, but it's like there's like 15 ingredients and it's like there's just a lot of stuff. And it you know, you've got to buy more stuff. It creates more stress because you've got to figure out, you know, where to get all these crazy ingredients that you can find on like Pinterest and stuff like that, or wherever people are finding recipes nowadays. So I think simple is better. You know, maybe add some cranberry for the holidays. You know, orange is really good. Citrus is in season right now. Just do something that you like and something that's tasty, you know, whatever that is to you. So
yeah, whatever you make, so they're going to enjoy it.
Yeah, because you made it with love. I think, you know, I definitely want to hear, and I know Mason's the same way. We definitely want to hear what you guys are drinking for the holidays. So I'm going to add a question to this podcast on Spotify and Anchor and Apple Podcast. In the bio, you're going to be able to click a link, and you know, it's basically the question is going to be, what are you drinking this holiday season? We'd love to hear what you're drinking. And, you know, give us some ideas to broaden our beverage horizons, because, you know, we're always looking for new and fun things to drink during the holiday season. So again, leave that question.
Students of life.
Yep. Students of life, students of beverage. And, you know, just put that in the question, comment on the podcast, on our social media, tell us what you're drinking, you know, cause we'd love to hear it. Mason, you want to smash that subscribe button?
Yeah, thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Sometimes I really want to, and so we'll jump into goals now. So, I know this isn't one of our goals, but I really want to create, you know, we're going to be creating a lot of podcasts in 2023. Hopefully 26 at least. 26 is one every 2 weeks, which is kind of the path we've been over, you know, the last 5 weeks, every other Thursday, except for the Thanksgiving one. The pre-Thanksgiving one came out the day before Thanksgiving, so on a Wednesday.
Just a little sneak peek for everybody.
Yeah, you know, gives you something to listen to during your holiday travels. So 26 podcasts this year at least. And I'd love to kind of create with you like a really fun intro for our podcast. So whether it's a song or something that can kind of be like after our ad read, it can be kind of our like, you know, this is how you recognize the Assemblage Beverage podcast. And yeah, so
podcast.
Yeah, so maybe we'll sing. I probably need some singing lessons because
me too.
I basically sing like I speak, so it's like super raspy and super, you know, like I haven't slept in a week.
If you didn't know, my hidden talent is singing, and my wife always tells me I should be on tour.
Oh wow! I don't know that I ever heard you sing in the 3 years we lived together. I don't know. We didn't really listen.
It's a screeching bat.
Yeah. Well, we'll come up with something, but I definitely want to do some sort of like intro music. I was kind of thinking about maybe like outsourcing it to like a up and coming artist.
Not a bad idea.
That might be better for everyone's ears. But I think we could create something really funny and unique. Just us two like goofing around. Maybe we'll auto tune our mics. Do a little T-Pain. Yeah. I can go
hard on the paint.
I can go. So I have you know, this deep voice, but I can also like go really high pitch too. So maybe I'll bring that out.
A little squeaker.
Yeah. And with the podcast, you know, I'd love to double our listeners over 2023. I think it's definitely,
let us push it out there, everybody.
Yeah, please share, listen. You know, have your cat listen to it. Have your mom listen to it. You know, whoever it is, whoever's in your life, your friends, have them listen because it means a lot. So I'd love to double our listeners. I definitely would like to, as I mentioned earlier, offer a couple more scholarships this year, at least 2 more, probably again in the fall, because it just makes me feel, and having Mason part of the team, I know he feels the same way. Being able to offer scholarships to those who want to pursue wine and beverage, but maybe they don't have the financial means to take a SOM exam or a WSET exam. So I'd love to do another 2, maybe 3. We'll see what we can pull off, but it just makes me feel so good. And it feels really great to give back because, like I said, been very fortunate to have gotten a lot of scholarships in my life that helped me get to where I am. So I love you all, and I hope that you can apply and you can win a scholarship, because that would be fantastic. Yeah. What's one of your goals, Mason?
Yeah. Couple of our goals, because there's 2 of us, we should hopefully convince a couple of y'all listeners that really enjoy and really want to help us succeed, and hopefully gain 2 sponsorships over this next year minimum, that just kind of really will push us to that next level and be able to do a little bit more and give a little bit more content and make a little bit more funny things happen for all of y'all, so that both us ourselves grow this podcast, but you as listeners also really get to enjoy and laugh with us as we help create these. And then
I think I think just to touch on those sponsorships, it doesn't have to be monetary. It could be maybe you're trying to grow your brand and you could give us your product, or, maybe you have a winery and you want to be featured on the winery. We'll do it for a couple bottles of wine, man. And for what it's worth, we'll give you what we can, in ad reads and post it on our social media and kind of try and promote your brand. So we're definitely looking to work with companies, big, small, whatever sponsorships we can give or get, as long as it aligns with who we are. And we have to believe in, you just like you believe in us. So I think that's really important. And I agree. I'd love to have 2 sponsorships by the end of 2023.
It would be amazing. And, there's something that you're thinking of that's outside the box, let us know. We will always consider everything and anything. We're trying to push. With that also, one notable review is kind of another goal of mine for us. And by that is just somebody else who's been doing this for a long time, or in a magazine or something similar to that. Just a shout out to us as Assemblage would be just absolutely awesome to gain, and just help with just our credibility as a team and as the podcast itself, to kind of help us grow.
Yeah.
What's another one of your goals for us?
Yeah, I definitely want to start bringing in some guests on the podcast. Guest stars. Whether it's people in the beverage industry, beer brewers, winemakers. I definitely want to have our brothers on this podcast at some point. We still have to do that Four Loko review.
It's coming. So 2023.
It's coming 2023. I got a message from Joe Grippo the other day, and
nice.
He was like, I just listened to episode 20. What was that? 24. And he's like, you've got to do the Four Loko review. Joe's a CIA guy, or no, he's not a CIA guy, but
no CIA. I met him at Gramercy.
Yes,
and he was part of the my wedding party.
That's right. And his girlfriend went to CIA, so there's still that CIA connection. But he's like, you need to do the Four Loko review. So that's a goal for 2023. Drink probably our first Four Loko since our freshman year of college.
Yeah, probably. I don't remember the last. Maybe we had one senior year, just a little nodded off, but I don't really remember.
Oh yeah, I think we did.
Kind of a blur.
I think we did.
Cracked one. Was like, oh.
I think we split one, and I don't think we even finished it because it was pretty brutal. So yeah, I'd love to have some people on the podcast to kind of, interview and help just create some really cool content for y'all. I know, you mentioned it, like having that question of the day or question of the podcast, where we're going to start with this one. What are you drinking over the holiday season?
What are you drinking over the holiday season? We want y'all to be more involved. We want to hear your comments. We want to know how we can help you as a listener enjoy us better, and just love to have a question of the day so that we can kind of get things rolling back and forth. So that's going to be part of every single podcast from here on out.
Yeah. And it'll definitely be both posted in like the bio on the podcast itself. There should be a link that you can click and answer the question. We get your feedback. We'd love to share, if you have something like a really cool answer and you want us to shout it out on the podcast, we got you. And definitely it'll be in the bio of our Instagram and Facebook. So you can always comment down below those social media posts and kind of let us know your answer. Or send us a direct message too. If you want it to be a little bit more private and you don't want, everyone to see it, you can always send us a direct message, and, we love hearing from y'all. So, and I think my last goal of 2023, for now, I think that the great thing with Assemblage is, Assemblage is a blend, or the French term for a winemaker's blend, in a finished wine. So, with Assemblage, we blend and we do a lot of things. We're starting a blog. We've obviously got the podcast. We've got the video podcast. We're going to really try and ramp up our like shorts and reels for next year, doing like little cool things, whatever it is. And I definitely want to get a Assemblage tattoo. My cousin who designed, the logo and the grapes, she's a tattoo artist. So I'd love to get an Assemblage tattoo from her next year. I don't know. I think what I'm going to do, Mason, let me know if this is a good idea.
Okay.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do these grapes.
Okay.
And I'm going to get it tattooed like, kind of like a teardrop tattoo.
Oh, how many wine bottles have you killed?
Exactly.
That's a great.
No, I'm not going to get a face tattoo. Nope. It would be funny though. Like that would be a funny story. Like I've killed, so many bottles of wine. People would probably take that out of context though. And, we'll probably get some heat for that joke, but whatever, man.
One off. Yeah. I'm sorry, y'all. We're just having fun.
That'd be too funny. But I would definitely regret that forever. So I'll probably get it on my leg next to my other tattoo. I kind of like, having it where if I'm wearing pants, or long pants, you can't see, if I'm wearing shorts, you can see the tattoo. So I'll probably do it on my leg, just, cause I like that clean look, but who knows, maybe I'll do it on my arm. It'll probably be like a spontaneous decision. Or maybe I'll ask my cousin, like, where should I do it? And, have her pick it out.
Right on your face.
Yeah, she'll say face tattoo. And then she'll also want like, hey, can you like write my IG handle right underneath, So yeah, that's definitely, one of the goals for me. So it might be tough to have her do it because she lives so far away. And I'm not really planning a trip up to Indiana, but we'll see. Maybe I'll do like a little spontaneous, like 1-day trip, fly up there, get the tattoo and fly back home. That seems like a lot and seems very expensive, but we'll see.
Or make it a long weekend to see your fam jam. Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows? That's also a goal for 2023. See the fam jam.
Yeah. Agreed.
Mace, you got any other goals for us?
I have no other goals besides having an awesome year with us and just kind of being better overall as a person and try to push us to the next level, and myself, and wanting to just move along, keep on growing,
Facts. Yeah, I appreciate you, Mason. I appreciate all you listening and sharing and all that good stuff, buying the merch. Makes a great Christmas gift. By the time you're listening to this, it probably won't be there in time for Christmas. But, you know, it could be a great New Year's gift. You know, give someone a bottle of champagne and an Assemblage t-shirt. There's no better gift, no better combo. But yeah, this has been a really fun way to review 2022. You know,
I look forward to 2023.
Yeah, I love Q&A. I wish we had a few more Qs so you guys could get a few more As. But, you know, if Jesus Christ, I sometimes I don't think about these things before I say them. I just blurt them out, and sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. But and then, you know, kind of talking about our goals for 2023. I'm really excited to see what's to come, and I'm excited to have at least 26 podcasts with you next year. So I guess until next year, this is our last podcast of the year. So make sure you smash that subscribe button on YouTube, destroy the subscribe button.
Let's go.
Review our podcast. Those reviews really help us out. So yeah, I guess
hear
until
about that
next
question.
time. Yeah. Let's answer that question. What are you drinking for the holidays? We'd love to hear from you. So, you know, I guess until next year, Mason.
Till next year, Adam, Mason, we're signing off.
Signing off. Peace, everyone. Take it easy.